Last time on Dragon Ball Chili's story. Melissa, a promising waitress at her local Chili's, was living it up and loving it at her dream job. However, that all came to a swift end when her nemesis, Becky Von Snackerton, thwacked her brain real good with her emergency baseball bat. After passing out, Melissa was transported to another world, where she discovered, to her dismay, Chili's did not exist.
Does Chili's exist here?
Perfect.
During her tortured cries of despair, her dead master reappeared, tasking her with building Chili's on not only this world, but many others as well.
We will establish Chili's on each of these worlds, thus establishing sleepy peace and harmony.
This to bring peace and stability to the universe. Such a task is too much to handle alone, he said. So, he brought in the help of a strange dog and a duck from another world. They would be her key companions on the road to restore balance and incredible flavor across the galaxies.
It is here. It is time, my friends. We have gathered here today for the Chili Story Part 2. Here we go. Already putting on the wig and Tizzy already gifting subs. You guys are chaos. Let's get this going, shall we? Shall we meet the cast?
Hello. Oh,
Let's start with Tizzy Q since he already.
Hi.
All right, Sir Tizzy Q will be once again voicing Becky along with some new characters tonight. All right, let's go ahead and bring in Demoker, Mr. Bryce. Let me up your volume a bit.
Hi.
There we go. Let's go ahead and introduce Miss Ash Snapham.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, it's Yeehaw Girl.
It is.
I don't know. I don't.
How
I
day?
don't know who that is.
I failed to mention, Bryce will be once again providing some wonderful sound effects for us, but he also has some new characters that will be joining in the fray. Okay, and Ash will be voicing our main character, Melissa, once again, but she will also have a couple other characters showing up throughout. Get on out here, Poketot.
He's muted. He has no clue what you're saying.
He has
He has no idea.
Hi. My mom just got me Pokemon cards.
Oh, Mr. Taylor here is going to be voicing our master character while also taking on the role of some new characters.
I'm scared.
I'm excited.
Last, but certainly not least, and newest to the ranks of the Chili Story
Sheepwave
crew.
TV.
Yeah, Sheepwave. Give a round of applause for
Yeah.
Sheepwave.
Woo! Fakely.
Hey guys, Sheepwave here. Have you all ever heard of Twitch Prime, where you can link your
Guys,
Amazon
Twitch Prime right now.
Wow, what a great reminder that you can go and watch these streams live at twitch.tv/SheepwaveTV, where I do music and Chili Story and sometimes gaming. What is happening in this world?
I'm
your
watching them.
Twitch Prime? That's all you need. And this is a sponsor from Sheepwave TV.
Sir Fangly is going to be voicing our mysterious dog character that joined in at the end of the last part. We need a recap of what happened last time with the Chili Story, and our good man Bryce has us covered there. Bryce, would you mind giving us a recap?
Now, hold on, just a moment.
He walked away.
He's across the street.
No, listen.
Where did he go?
Where did he come from? Where did
Hold
he
on,
go?
I just had Taco Bell. I gotta get rid of something real quick. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if Chad actually knows that. None of us know what this is until we start reading it.
That
so.
is true. Only
Couldn't
myself and one other person actually knows what's coming in this story. No one knows what to expect, and that's exactly how I want it.
Beautiful.
Young butterfly.
Said Melissa. It's already started. Said Melissa's decaying master. His voice, of course, somewhere between overflowing with wisdom and just straight up overflowing. Bryce, could you give us a sound? Okay.
Forgot that was his voice. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Why that noise? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm not ready for this.
This is the first.
It was his noise. I'm sorry. Okay.
These are your new friends.
I love how you rushed through that. Okay.
He was like, just get it through, get it out.
Melissa stared at the two figures that had appeared before her very confused eyes. The first was a dog. Well, dog. He was standing like a normal human. Well, normal. Nothing about his stance was normal, nor his appearance. Well, appearance. Appearing in front of Melissa was exactly what he just did. Well, did. That was the past tense, and we are in the present. And presently, she decided that focusing on the dog's normal appearance did not help her in the slightest. With this in mind, she shifted her gaze to the other one. It was a duck. He had a wizard hat and staff next to him, not much to see. Suddenly, the dog spoke again. Fangly, this is you.
Yuck. Nice to meet you. My name is Reginald Torrendistonecatch, but you can call me Gerby.
Said the dog.
And this here is a duck.
What is this next line?
Replied the duck. Melissa continued to stare as an awkward silence began to grow. The duck began to look around and, noticing a small pond nearby, waddled his way into the shallow water, leaving behind his staff and hat. Well, left. He was just a duck. He couldn't use them if he tried, unless...
So, Gerby, does the duck have a name or purpose or skill?
Asked Melissa.
Yeah, correct. No, I'm just hungry.
Gerby
Borscht.
responded, pulling out a 12-gauge shotgun from his back pocket. He pointed the barrel at the content duck and pulled the trigger. With a loud bang and a big splash from the water, Melissa realized that the duck was no longer in the pond or existence.
Or
my
she'll
favorite
do it
character.
again.
That was literally my favorite character, and he already died off.
He's already dead.
Oh my
Looked at
god!
his picture. What did you do to him?
I'm having fish tonight, buddy.
Or she'll do it again. Where'd my dinner go?
Said the dog, genuinely confused. Melissa turned back to her master with palpable concern.
What can I say?
Her master said, his voice calmly staring off into the sunset before pile driving a landmine into the nearest Denny's. Bryce?
What a lovely view. Really. Just... Is that a Denny's?
All right, Taylor.
He played a lot of Duck Hunt as a kid.
Master, I don't understand. You said you'd get me help, but instead you give me a psychotic dog and a duck that didn't last 2 minutes.
Responded a perturbed Melissa. When I told you guys that you guys were going, like everyone was going to be angry with me for this chapter, this is just the start.
I'm sorry.
You got this,
Say,
man.
you got this.
I could just hear Taylor laughing in the other room.
Why, Buttergung?
Replied her master, his voice making its way downtown, walking fast, breaking legs, and stealing cats. Bryce?
You don't think you'll need a little bit of psycho in your fight against Snackerton? Did you not just take an oath of non-violence to leave behind your... ... troubled youth?
He had a point. Melissa turned back to the dog, who was face down in the pond searching for his dinner of duck remains.
Gosh.
Bestie, I'm gonna start to death out here.
He said with a manic smile.
Okay,
Ash.
but just because I can't fight doesn't mean I want others to fight in my place. Doesn't that defeat the point?
Melissa asked.
Oh, butterfly.
Master said, his voice waking up at 4:30 a.m. local time to an alarm of jazz music before hopping in the shower for a good cleanup, then hopping out after 37 minutes, drying off and dressing himself nicely for his brand new job, which led to him walking into the kitchen and making some waffles and eggs with a side of strawberries for his morning meal, giving him fuel to grab his keys, walk out the door, close the door, lock the door, slap the door, and walk away from the door towards his car, which he proceeded to enter and turn on before reversing out of his driveway, switching into neutral, and hitting the gas, getting confused as to why he didn't move, realizing that it's in neutral, shifting to drive, taking a right turn out of the neighborhood before getting hit by a passing nuclear warhead. Bryce.
Oh.
No.
It was like listening to ASMR.
Well,
right,
that settled that. There was no arguing against her master's logic. Melissa turned back to Gerby, who was now sitting in the pond, his smile still stapled to his face. Melissa sighed in defeat. She might as well try to bring him up to speed.
Gerby,
She started.
you said you were hungry, right?
Gerby's head snapped to face her, his eyes locking in.
Gosh, I could just about kill anything. I'm so hungry. God.
He replied, clearly forgetting that he literally just did.
Well, it just so happens I'm going to be building a restaurant very close by. Do you know what that means, Gerby?
I'm not a darn Gliskadoo.
He replied.
It means young butter dog.
The master jumped in, his voice going into freeform jazz with a bit of heavy metal. And by a bit, I mean way too much. Bryce?
Dum dum. Bam 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 boom.
Wonderful, thank you so much.
Food. Lots of food. Being prepared food. Food.
He's stuck. He's broken. Gerby sat unmoving. He simply stared as if the words didn't register. After a few long seconds, his head tilted slowly, like a dog trying to figure out a new sound. Wait, he is a dog. Well, dog.
That means I'll make you some food if you help.
Melissa spelled out. This prompted Gerby to suddenly stand up. After reaching his apex height, he bent his knees until they jutted out 90 degrees, pointed them straight left and right from his long torso, and, all too quickly, scurried up to Melissa's face. He spoke in a low voice.
Now I'm gonna ask you one time, Yuck, did you take my dinner from me?
I'm honestly kind of scared of Gerby, but anyways.
He literally killed my favorite character. Of course
Yeah,
I'm scared
2
of him.
minutes
I'm
in.
scared of him.
I got emotionally attached immediately, and it.
Really strong.
No, I'm saying I'll cook some chilies for you.
Replied Melissa, her voice a bit shaky.
Well, why didn't you say so, son?
He shouted, standing up straight once again.
I've actually built 7 restaurants in my life. Luckily, I'll go sniff out a spot.
With that, the dog turned slightly, then reassuming his scurrying position, sped off down the road. Within seconds, he disappeared from sight.
Young butt.
Said Master, his voice, literally lifting a nearby rock off the ground and crushing it into paste for sustenance. Bryce?
Gerby is a good dog. Give him treats and he will love you forever.
Melissa turned back to her master.
I don't think I'm ready for this, Master.
She said. She would have been on the verge of tears, but her brain told her tears were not very swag at this current moment.
You listen well, younger fly.
He replied. His voice.
Oh my god.
His voice. Sorry, I got caught up in it. That's not professional of me. Back to writing. Bryce, I don't know what you're gonna do with that, but have fun.
What?
You raise me up.
I could hear him downstairs. It was so loud.
With the world in chaos, many people like yourself have been displaced to other worlds. Chilies will make this right.
Master's body began to fade slightly. Melissa could tell that her time with Master was nearly over.
Master, wait! An imperfect beast like me couldn't possibly build a perfect restaurant like Chili's.
She called out.
Don't worry, young.
He said, his voice beatboxing, just beatboxing. That's it.
Your love for Chili's will guide you. Your passion for the flavors will steer you. But most of all,
He continued, his voice almost suave, as if voiced by Matt Mercer's distress and anxieties. Bryce?
Draw
Never forget the key to success is in the line of the work that you're embarking into is.
With that, his body disappeared. Well, he was a ghost. Melissa stepped forward, her hand reaching towards where her master just stood. For the most part, she felt alone again. For the other part, she wished her master had shortened his sentence so he could say what was important. She sighed, then returning her hand to her side, she turned and began to follow after Gerby. Whoosh! Miles away from where Melissa and Gerby lay the recently battered city. I screwed that sentence up so bad. Fire still raged free and smoke billowed high into the air. The stench of death permeated the oxygen in the area. Presented with the scenario, most normal people would rather choose to experience unnecessarily detailed Sonic fan fiction than to spend a minute breathing in this horror. However, the person who stood amidst this chaos and destruction was anything but normal. She stood watching the flames, her emergency baseball bat still loosely held in her right hand. That's right, it was Becky.
Becky.
Behind Becky, a pale figure appeared in a dark flash and began to approach. His wavy purple hair was slicked back. His hoodie was diamond studded with the hood up. His boots were leather, his pants were long. The words Pancake Boy were tattooed across his forehead in what appears to be Times New Roman font. Now, before you voice this is an original character, and I didn't have any art for them, so I drew him myself.
Oh my gosh, I'm so ready for this. Put it on screen right now.
Do not expect greatness.
Oh my gosh, look at him. That's so good compared to what I can do.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
He looks good.
I thought you were actually gonna butcher him.
New cosplay idea.
All right, Bryce, this is your new character.
Okay, this gave me a lot of inspiration, so I'm gonna try to funnel all that in to this improvised voice. Pascal, behold, Beckham's. What be ye do?
Said the strange mystical man.
Ye been starry still, we so stoically silent.
Becky continued to stare out ahead of her. She made no sign of even hearing the man. She just stared, her eyes slowly scanning the environment.
Beckham's, I be becoming bitter because ye still send signals of shivering shoulder.
He continued, hoping for a response. I've just got to say, perfect, Bryce.
So good.
Look at this world, Binkle.
She finally responded, still looking ahead.
This world of fire and ash and swords and dragons. This world free of protection from chilies. It's beautiful.
She said, her tone very much Becky. Gingers and dragons, thank you so much for following. Welcome to the chaos. I can't explain what's happening.
Whoa, agreed.
The mysterious man Binkle replied, contorting his body slightly up and to the right.
I'm sorry I did that as I said the line. That's really
I did it too.
And after applying ample adverse actions, chilies will bend before Beckham's beautifully brilliant power.
Binkle, you turtleneck hamster seer. I don't care to rule chilies. I only care that people like her know their place in the food necklace.
I think I coughed a little blood after that.
She responded, her voice beginning to show her disgust. Binkle slightly bowed his head towards her direction.
Excellently expressed.
He responded.
Where shall Binkle and Beckham's begin?
Becky pondered this question for a second. Or two. Maybe a few more. I don't know. I'm not a timekeeper.
Ah, I know.
She said, starting to giggle like a maniac.
I'll start by raising an army of people like me. Becky von Snackerton. Then we shall march upon this land and take control of each city one by one.
Her voice became more manic.
We'll crush trash the piece that this grape-stained shrimp tamers have built, and in its ashes shall build a wonderful chaos and not chilies.
She let out a bit of maniacal laughter. After a bit, the laughter began to slow and die down. Her crazed eyes became narrow and focused. She was back to being Bad Becky. With that, Becky finally turned around to face the strange man. She lifted the baseball bat and rested it across her right shoulder behind her Becky head.
Come, Binkle. We have bad things to start doing.
She sneered. Binkle bowed deeper.
What a way with words, wonderful woman.
And now
My neighbors are gonna call the police.
whoosh, cut. No matter how fast she ran, Melissa struggled to keep up with Gerby's lightning-fast waddle. She had caught glimpse of him a few times, but that was hours ago. It had long since grown dark, and Melissa was beginning to run out of steam. Still, she trudged onward. Master had entrusted this important mission to her and trusted Gerby to help with said mission. She needed to at least try. The moon, her only source of light, began to be covered by dark clouds. Her running slowed to a jog as the light began to fade further. She slowed further as it reached its peak, barely able to make out the trees and the road. Breathing heavily, she continued onward, slowing to a walk. She was starting to think that she was going to need to find a spot to rest and try to catch up with Gerby in the morning. Following the path as it turned a sharp corner, there was suddenly a light ahead. A nice orange hue painted the horizon ahead of her.
Sunrise already?
Breathed out an exhausted Melissa. Well, sunrise. She realized quickly that the colors seemed to almost dance with no rhythm. She looked down at the path ahead of her and saw Gerby's frantic footprints leading straight to the light.
No point standing around, I guess.
She muttered to herself, picking up the pace. It didn't take long to close in and realize what that orange glow belonged to. By about a mile out, she could see a building ablaze in the middle of a village. Shouts and yells reverberated across the land. She continued her pace, quickly finding her way into the village. Text appeared in front of her saying Riverwood discovered. From the entrance of the village, she could already feel the flames. Towards that direction, yelling could be heard. A few villagers ran past her, heading straight towards the burning building. She followed after them, and soon came to see a crowd standing in front of the building in question. However, this crowd was not looking at the flames. Rather, they all stared toward the middle of the crowd. From the middle, she began to make out what the shouts were saying. And Tizzy, this is a new character for you. He is not exactly the most chill of people.
Angry.
Very
Doesn't
dedicated
about
to his cause.
Very dedicated to his cause.
Not very chillies of him.
I'm rubbing my forehead here, thinking about how I'm gonna.
This creature has spat in the face of our collective generosity. We offered food. We offered rest. His retaliation brought forth the flames before our eyes.
That is amazing. A man stood center of the crowd, yelling to the bystanders. Bystanders. I got it this time. Next to him, a dog figure was handcuffed, his eyes unchanged from when Melissa last saw him. Unhinged.
One of y'all stole my dinner. I know it.
He responded, a clear lack of regret emanating from his body.
The beast continues to lie. His rampage was unprovoked.
The man shouted in response. He voiced this towards a small hooded cloaked figure who sat a bit apart from the crowd staring up at the building.
Sir, what do you request we do about this pest?
Sorry, I didn't have that up. There we go. He continued. The figure remained still, looking at the flames from his seated position. Taylor, this is you? This is a new character.
Okay, well, I also see the hooded figure, but I know nothing about that game, so I'm just,
The hood is just... I needed a hood.
Okay, alright, understandable, okay. Hey, dog thing? Why burn the building, huh?
I'm just gonna say this. You're gonna keep the voice, but you're gonna regret keeping the voice. I will not allow you to change the voice.
Beautiful. All right.
I'm making chilies, Your Honor.
Responded Gerby. This prompted the figure to quickly shift his gaze from the fire to the captive Gerby.
Chili. Did you say chili?
He responded. Gerby simply looked back at the figure without a trace of concern.
I feel like you're trying to pull a fast one on me. Normally, fast is my job.
The figure said, beginning to stand. Now on his feet, he didn't stand much taller than he was when he was sitting. The brown cloak, I should have made it brown, I didn't make it brown. The brown cloak he wore ended a little past his skinny knees. On his feet were a pair of worn down dirty red shoes.
Oh my gosh. Are you kidding?
He began to walk forward towards Gerby.
Holy crap. There's so much to unpack here. What have you done?
No!
Holy crap.
I told you were gonna regret it.
I haven't had chili since before I arrived here, years ago.
He said as he approached.
You're telling me that all of this was for chili?
He trailed off as he pulled back and pulled his hood back. I'm sorry.
God!
Kill it with fire.
Okay, no, my voice fits that.
We need an exorcist.
I think it was
We needed an exorcist after Gerby killed the dog.
He trailed off as he pulled his hood back. Melissa stared, unable to quite understand what she was looking at. This blue creature definitely wasn't human. He wore a pair of dirty white gloves, and his hair, if you could call it that, was spiked back.
Well, you better be able to make a mean chili dog.
And that is the end of chapter 2.
Oh my god.
It's hard for me to do the robot voice after laughing, and I never know what... Demoker also doesn't know what he's going to be voicing. When you say, like, you know, oh, his voice sounded like this, and then he just does something. And props to him, dear Lord. This is great. This is by far... That was my favorite chapter, although I hated the beginning because I really did suck.
Guys, I just got off the phone with Quentin Tarantino. He's watching the stream. He loves what you're writing, Sheepwave.
Yes!
Congratulations, buddy. You made it.
I made it finally.
You did
This
it.
is my
You
big
finally,
break.
this is it. This is the very yes.
The prologue in chapter 1 from part 1 were made to hurt Ash.
Do it again.
This is now made to hurt everyone.
Everyone. Yep.
Everyone.
俺はディオですバカだろ
向かってくるくれ。
ムラムラ
Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me?
International. Because Kagano.
Oh.
ムラムラムラ
Oh my gosh. All right. It is time to begin chapter 3. Are you guys ready? No, you're not. I'll answer for you. You are not ready.
I miss Duck.
Duck's gone. Duck's gone. Get
He
over
might
it.
come back.
Yeah, he might come back,
I will
yeah,
tell you now,
hopefully.
Duck will not come back.
He'll probably come back.
We're on page 9 of 350. How long is this chapter?
Wait, why is the title of your story called The Bible of Chili?
You can recreate the Bible with your own characters?
All right. Chapter 3.
But first, a word from our not actual sponsor.
Have you ever wanted to be your other self? Have you ever wanted to summon your persona to fight against the bad guys? The corrupt adults that are bringing us down in this society that we live in. We live in a society. Well, now you can with Chili's. That's right. You can take down the boss. That is the Boss Burger. The Boss Burger. Beef. Smoked brisket. Smoked sausage. Bacon. Melissa didn't know what to do. The flames continued to rage to her left. In front of the flames stood a chained Gerby, who didn't seem to register, well, anything. To her right, approaching Gerby, was a blue creature who seemed to be in charge. The crowd stood by, anxiously taking in the view. Some were restless, some were in shock, standing almost as still as a mannequin. Some were mannequins that had been brought out by a guy looting a nearby department store. Look forward to that DLC. He took off his shirt and began twirling it in the air, screaming, "Burn it all! Burn it all!" over and over.
My God.
The words vibes and bribes had been sketched across his shirtless body. Many people were concerned. Vibes and bribes.
I want that shirt. Sorry.
Make it.
As your
Sheepwave
merch, I need a Vibes and Bribes shirt.
Vibes and bribes.
new
Oh my
Sheepwave
gosh,
merch.
right there.
Melissa, however, was not among that small group of people concerned with the man. She was more concerned about the scene playing out directly in front of her.
Sir, I implore you, please do not play along with these beasts' psychotic ramblings.
Yelled the man stood next to Gerby.
It is an enemy of our town.
Hey, I caused my fair share of chows when I showed up, remember?
No, you cannot say
Thank
chows.
you. No, it's chows. No, don't listen to it. It's chows. It is chows.
Responded the small creature.
This guy might be going through the same thing as me.
The small guy turned back to Gerby.
I'm starving, Your Majesty.
Responded Gerby with his usual vacant stare. Wow.
Or maybe he's just lost it. You might be right.
The small creature in charge responded with a confused look.
Wait, please.
Shouted Melissa, moving through the crowd towards the center.
Wait, please. I can explain.
Everyone's attention shifted to Melissa. The party boy had stopped twirling his shirt and was frozen in place, kind of like a mannequin. Ironic if you think about it, just a little creepy if you don't.
Okay, and who are you then?
Responded the small creature. Melissa took a quick breath, scrambling and failing to think of any good explanations. She decided the truth was her only chance.
My name is Melissa, and this is Gerby. We aren't from this world, but we've been tasked with a mission of universal importance.
What in the... Okay, and that mission is ... question mark?
Responded Shorty.
Build the restaurant of the gods that will bring peace to every land. Build Chili's, sir.
Short Stuff stopped for a second. That word again. It brought a reminiscent hunger from Chili Dog's past. For just a moment, he lost himself in the memories. Quickly coming back to his senses, he was always quick with things, he turned his attention back to the individuals in front of him.
Marshall?
He shouted to the upset man next to Gerby.
Oh, he shouted. Marshall,
Continue.
bring them to my office and grab my assistant. I want to hear more before making any decisions. Oh, and get a crew to try and put out that fire.
With that, the short boy suddenly ran off in a flash, faster than even Gerby's terrifying waddle. The marshal was visibly upset. However, he grumbled out a
Yes, sir.
and began to lead Melissa and the handcuffed Gerby through the crowd
to step on
and
your
towards a
lines,
building
everybody.
further off. The crowd stared daggers towards them. Party boy was back to hooting and hollering in the back. John Wick stood in the shadows looking disappointed. Not at the scene, but that this was his only mention in the entirety of the Chili story.
Oh my gosh.
As Melissa and company entered the building, she turned to quickly see a group of villagers carrying a 2-story large bucket and dumping its watery contents onto the building. Many questions rose in her head, but none of them had the chance to process. The door slammed shut, and they were pushed to move onwards up the stairs. They climbed up to the top, turned a corner, and entered a door on the far side of the hall. There sat little blue boy spinning in his chair. And let me get the office area up.
It's about time you got here. You're too slow.
He said, I'm so glad you did it. He said, with a
Bryce, are
smile.
you okay?
No, dude, I read the next line,
Yep.
bro, and I'm gonna throw up.
The marshal excused him. Don't read ahead. Don't read ahead.
I know. I just only
The
time I've
marshal,
done it.
the marshal excused himself and closed the door.
All right.
He started.
My name is Ogilvy Morris Hedgehog. My friends call me Samick. I came from another world as well.
Bryce, could you explain why the name is that real quick?
That is Sonic's canon name.
I'm sorry. What?
What?
In the Sonic comics, that is his canon
No, I'm
name.
Googling this.
Ogilvy
You gotta be
Maurice
lying.
Hedgehog.
I'm upset.
That is real.
I actually
Hold
hate
on.
Sonic now.
Look up
I'll tell you,
Sonic's
bro.
name. Just say Sonic's Hedgehog name. Yep.
Morris?
What?
His last name is still Hedgehog?
Okay, I have so many questions.
Can you just
We're in the
imagine?
deep
Can you
end
just
now,
imagine
boys.
him going, "Oh, Gilly Moore's Hedgehog's my name and Speed's my game"? Like that's just not a thing.
Melissa wasn't too shocked at this reveal. It seemed everyone around her was from a different world.
Did my master summon you here too?
She asked.
Don't know what the heck you're talking about, lady.
Samek started. The delivery is perfect.
I was rolling around at the speed of sound. Back home, I had places to go, man. And out of nowhere, these weird black holes started opening up everywhere. I happened to be unlucky enough to run straight into one. It let me be here. And I've been doing what I can to make the best of it while looking for a way home.
That laugh was so good. Samek stood and jumped onto the table, staring down Melissa's eyes.
Judging from your master question, it seems like you know more about this than I do. Care to share?
He said. Melissa opened her mouth but was interrupted by the door opening. A voice followed suit, filling the room. Not literally, though. That wouldn't make sense. Instead, it implied foreshadowing.
So, Samexter, pray tell, what shall your sassy servant do to appropriately assist?
Wriggled the man. That was truly the best way Melissa could describe his voice and speech and appearance. Well, appearance. She glanced over his strange getup from his diamond-studded, not boots, that was supposed to be jacket, sorry, diamond-studded jacket and long pants to his pancake boy forehead tattoo. Melissa would have normally been shocked at such a getup, but after everything that had happened in the past 24 hours, she could accept it pretty easily.
Sassy servant? I told you to call yourself a sussy servant. Ah, Binkle, great.
Replied Samek.
These guests here are Melissa and Gerby. They are from another world like us. I get the feeling they might have an idea about how to get us back to our original homes.
Binkle scanned the two with narrowed eyes.
Ah, fantastically fortunate.
He replied. He wormed his way around Melissa and Gerby to stand next to Samek, who was still on the table.
I am Binkle, servant of Salubrious Samek here.
He said as introduction.
These guys say they're trying to build a restaurant.
Samek began to explain.
It's not just a restaurant.
Cut in Melissa.
I believe it's the key to fixing our situation.
Binkle's eyes narrowed further.
What be this salivating, solutionistic Siops's name?
He replied.
Elise.
Melissa said, reverence in her voice. Stop! Freeze frame! We now cut to the mind of Binkle. Within his mind, there sat a large round table. Sat in the chairs were 6 Binkles, each wearing a different colored hoodie, and each with a unique voice. So everyone now is voicing a Binkle. And you can use whatever voice you want. Just remember your colors. Blue, this means it's Fangly.
What? Already? What the crappy heck?
Oh my gosh!
Amazing! But already be on the move. This is not a good day. And I am having now. I'm having now.
Shouted the blue Binkle.
Oh, I'm sorry that you're not having a good day now, Binkle. We were all having such a fantastic time over here without you. Why don't you join us for the party of good fun times?
Responded the red Binkle.
Panic? I'm panicking! Is the air thin for anyone else? Has anyone seen my glasses? Do I need glasses in my brain? Do I wear glasses? Who am I? Whataburger? Whataburger? Whataburger?
Panicked the yellow Binkle.
Hold up, Whataburger doesn't really turn me on.
Said the green Binkle, whose dialogue was very much written by Sheepwave TV for Tales of Taylor in revenge of his latest videos and book-off encounters.
I'm more of a moist monster for McDonald's chicken finglets. Oh, yes. Daddy, please. Oh, the chicky fingy. Oh, the tum-tum. I am a thirsty boy for that chicken good stuff, yum.
None of this was relevant to the conversation, so he added,
What the hell?
The fifth Binkle, wearing the pink hoodie, said nothing. Rather, he sat there crying like a baby. Oh my gosh, it always freaks me out. That is 100% Ash. The sixth, wearing the orange hood, just said, whack.
Whack.
Whack like the duck?
Wait.
Oh, now I missed the duck.
What? Duck's not coming back. Duck's not coming back.
Wait, calm down, Bingles. You absolutely freakish hype beast. Let's all calm down and think this through.
Shouted the red Binkle.
Chili's isn't established yet. Let's just remember that.
We must help Becky at once.
Shouted the blue.
We must release the Snapperton upon this situation.
The remaining four agreed with the loud,
Yep.
yep,
Fine, yes. But I must also buy some time for ourselves.
replied the red.
Oh, shut up, Binkle. You're right, but you smell of dog eggs. Who made you in charge?
The voices! You guys chose the perfect voices and you had no idea! Shouted the green.
He's got a point, yo. I don't remember any election happening.
Agreed the yellow.
Hold up, you were all panicking. I'm just trying to bring some order in here.
Argued red.
But I want to be in charge.
Cut in the pink, who was still sniffling from the crying.
Nuh-uh. I think it should be me.
Said blue. Me. Simply said orange.
Me? It should be me!
Said yellow.
Oh, no, you don't. I'm leader boy. I give orders just like Mac Doomlins takes mine for the chimkin. Please, let me have this.
Said green.
Over my dead hoodie.
Shouted red. That was an interesting shout. We'll take it. Jumping up from his seat at the table, he climbed up and scrambled across towards green, tackling him to the ground.
Fuck fight!
Yelled yellow, who grabbed an axe out of nowhere and swung it at pink. Pink dodged at the last second, pulling out a sidearm from his left sock. He sobbed, Ash, as he fired towards yellow, hitting him in the shoulder. Orange sat watching, taking in the chaos silently. Blue then stood, revealing a small sheathed blade.
Oledo Banco Michi. But it's the way the blade Japanese.
He calmly said. He unsheathed it and ran into the chaos between yellow and pink, slashing pink down. The first of the Binkles to fall in an incredibly bloody battle of the mind.
Wait!
Shouted red, pressing the red button sat center of the table. Everyone was suddenly transported back to their seats.
Why is this Among Us? Why? Who let him do this? No! Why?
Oh my god.
When did you have time for this?
I'm pretty sure I just saw Blue kill Pink. I think we need to vote him out.
Whoa. No, I was just doing my wires.
Blue countered.
I don't even know where the body is.
This upset red.
You did it right in front of me.
He said.
No, you guys are just trying to set me up. It's you, ain't it?
Blue once again countered.
Guys, it's orange! I knew it!
Said yellow, really throwing a monkey wrench into the emergency meeting. Why would he do that? Why would he do that? Why would he do that? Why would he suddenly just blame orange for no reason? I don't understand it.
You got me killed! You! Sheepwave TV!
You started it!
Moogles.
It's out.
True, I did see him do that.
It's Sheepwave.
I do it for the Moogles.
I just got that one.
No, it's busy. No, it's not. No, why would I do that? Why would I do that? No, it's not me. It can't be me. No, do not vote for me right now. I'm gonna be so mad. What? Why?
No,
I didn't even do anything. I can't believe you.
Oh, wait, what? What do you mean? Oh, he was the only one who didn't do a thing. And we all clearly saw Blue murder Pink in front of us.
Said
and it was
green.
kind of funny.
Said green.
I'm
sobbing.
It's girl. Sorry, pick up, take two. I'm telling you, it's orange!
Responded yellow. Sophia says, oh, now it's getting personal. This entire chapter is personal.
You know what? We can vote out Blue next round. I'm voting for yellow. He's a sussy baka boy, and he needs to go.
Concluded green.
Oh my
Red and blue looked at each other and shrugged.
Sure, sounds good to me.
That's pretty much what happened.
Said red. Yellow, said orange calmly.
Wait, no! What? What do you mean?
Started Yellow, but it was too late. The vote had taken place and he was kicked out of the airlock. The words Yellow Q was not an imposter appeared on screen to no one's surprise.
Oh my god.
All right, let's get back to the task at hand.
Said Red.
I'm leader.
Over my dead fangies.
Yelled Green. He jumped up with a hammer and ran straight towards Red. The battle was about to begin once again.
Binkle?
The voice of Samick brought him out of the chaos of his mind.
Apologies. Actually, and apparently I gotta go greet the righteous restroom.
Stumbled Binkle.
No need for suspicious staring.
After a moment of shifting his gaze around, he leapt towards the door and ran out.
All right, okay.
Said Samick, breaking the silence.
So, tell me more about this, Chilies.
And we cut there, and we move on to the next part. Let me set the scene.
I'm getting lightheaded from laughing so much.
I'm gonna pass out.
Back come problems.
Shouted Binkle, approaching the Snackerton. Let me get her on screen. She stood atop one of the few remaining watchtowers in the desolated village. What was once a calm, rustic village was now being repurposed into a stronghold of Becky. The sounds of unseen workers building up defenses alongside the clashing of swords from an unseen army below her tower rose. I guess I just didn't finish that sentence. Binkle came to a stop a few feet behind her, trying to catch his breath. Becky, however, did not move, choosing instead to continue to watch the progress of her new servants. Things were moving incredibly and conveniently quick for her.
Binkle, you beetle of misfortunes, better be important.
She seethed.
I'm busy with looking at things.
Binkle looked up, gasping for air. He tried to relay the message between breaths. Yikes.
Chilies. Here. Melissa. Building. Peace. No good.
Each word sparked behind Becky's eyes. However, the name of Melissa set her eyes on fire. Literally. It actually happened. What a freak. That should hurt. But it did not hurt the Beck.
Ah.
She snarled.
Ah. The child has hair too. Sounds like she didn't learn a lesson the first time. Looks like round 2 is needed. I'll learn her good with Becky von Snackerton. Is not a force to be messed with.
I wasn't sure if you actually cut out for a second or not.
Same here.
Just flawless timing. That's not all.
Binkle said, still gasping for air.
I found a fairly fantastic, acceptable associate to assist.
She turned and looked at Binkle. He couldn't help but stare back into the flames.
I get it.
She said, still furious.
Strong support, appropriate assassin, wheeze, gasp.
He clarified. Well, clarified. Becky seemed to understand, though.
Where's this big boy then?
She asked, her gaze now actually burning Binkle a bit.
In office.
He gasped, no longer having the will or energy to keep up his normal speech pattern.
Told him to wait there. Gasp, gas, wheeze, cough.
Becky stared in disgust at the out-of-shape creature in front of her.
Come, Binkle. You hamster-wheeled tartar sauce.
She spat.
We shouldn't keep our new friend waiting.
Binkle, still struggling to speak, looked up and nodded. Becky didn't wait for the acknowledgement, though. She was already walking past him. He took a deep breath, straightened himself out, and followed after her. They walked down the long, winding stairs in silence. Well, silence. Binkle was still gasping for air, and the extra effort of walking down the stairs kept that effort consistent. After a couple minutes, they finally reached the bottom and exited through the door. Becky continued walking while Binkle closed the door behind them. A new sign had been posted next to the door that said Beck Time Rush Tower on it.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you so much. That's just for me.
That's
Sold him out. Dead.
Binkle quickly caught up to Becky, who refused to slow down for even a second. New walls had already been constructed around them, behind which the noises of construction and sparring continued. Binkle wanted to get a glimpse of the army that Becky had been rather quickly building, but he instead continued to follow after Snackerton to her destination. They finally reached a small building at the edge of the village. Becky stood at the door waiting. Binkle ran up and opened the door for her, realizing that this was apparently now his job. She walked through with Binkle closing the door behind her. She continued to approach the man, who sat on a bench further in. He was wearing a dark suit, his long hair slicked back. He was slouched over with a sandwich in his hand. Hearing the loud footsteps of Becky, he slowly looked up and straightened out.
So,
Becky started.
I hear you're good. Is this John Wick?
Please continue.
Yeah. So, I hear you're good with killing things.
The man just stared at her, not saying a word.
God, I have someone I need removed from living, and I'm too busy with my stuff. Name your price, you revved up lobster tail.
Oh my god. The man stared for a moment longer, considering. He didn't know where he was, what was going on, or why he was there. But he did know one thing that he wanted.
Could you get me a puppy?
He asked. The pieces were now in place. The characters set. The sun began to rise, marking the last peaceful dawn before the chaos to come. And with this final piece on the board, it looks like John Wick was going to have a part to play in the Chili story after all.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there we go.
And that is where we will end. To be continued in the Chili story.
Oh
When
my
do we
word.